Ever wondered why habits, both good and bad, seem so hard to break? Welcome to the fascinating world of habits, where we'll unravel the mystery behind these repetitive behaviors that make up a significant portion of our lives. Habits, in a nutshell, are routines of behavior that are repeated regularly and tend to occur subconsciously. They're like the autopilot mode of our brains, helping us carry out tasks without much thought. But how are habits formed? Well, it's all about the brain's love for efficiency. When we repeat a behavior over and over, our brain starts to take note and begins to automate the process, saving us precious mental energy. This process is known as habit loop, and it consists of three parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue triggers the routine, and the reward is what our brains get after executing the routine. The more we repeat this loop, the stronger the habit becomes. Now, the power of habits lies in their ability to shape our lives. Habits, over time, become hardwired into our brains, making them automatic and often hard to break. They can significantly impact our lives in both positive and negative ways. On one hand, good habits like regular exercise, healthy eating, and consistent studying can lead us towards success and well-being. They can help us achieve our goals, improve our health, and enhance our productivity. On the other hand, bad habits like procrastination, unhealthy eating, and excessive screen time can lead us down a path of unproductivity and poor health. They can hinder our progress, affect our mental and physical health, and diminish our quality of life. However, the real power of habits is not just in their ability to shape our lives, but also in our capacity to change them. With understanding and effort, we can replace bad habits with good ones, harnessing the power of habits to our advantage. Understanding the science behind habit formation is key to harnessing their power. So join us as we delve deeper into the science behind habit formation in the next scene. Let's embark on this journey to better understand our habits and learn how we can make them work for us. Habits aren't just routines, they are complex neurological processes. Let's dive into the science behind habit formation. Imagine your brain as a dense forest. The first time you do something new, it's like cutting a path through the undergrowth. It takes a lot of effort, but every time you walk the same path, it becomes clearer, easier, and quicker to navigate. This is essentially what happens in your brain when you form a habit. Each action or thought we have creates a neural pathway. This pathway is like a trail of breadcrumbs that your brain follows. The more often you perform a certain action or think a certain thought, the stronger this neural pathway becomes. Now here's the fascinating part. As you repeat a behavior, your brain starts to use less and less energy to perform it. This is because of a region in your brain called the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia is responsible for conserving energy, and one way it does this is by turning frequently performed actions into habits. That's why we often perform habitual actions like brushing our teeth or driving to work without even thinking about it. But what if the habit we're creating isn't a good one? Can we change it? Well, the truth is, habits are hard to break. This is because our brains are wired to resist change. When we try to break a habit, it's like trying to cut a new path through the forest while the old one is still there, clear and inviting. It takes a lot of effort, and our brains don't like that. However, the good news is, it's not impossible to change a habit. It requires understanding how habits work, a good deal of patience, and consistent effort. To wrap it up, habits are deeply rooted in our brains. They are formed and maintained through the creation and reinforcement of neural pathways. By understanding this, we can begin to see why habits are so powerful and why they can be so difficult to change. Habits aren't formed overnight, and they can't be changed in a day either. Our habits shape our lives more than we realize. So, let's dive into the heart of the matter, the impact of habits on our lives. Habits, the invisible architects of our lives, have a profound effect on our daily living, influencing almost every aspect of our existence. They can be our greatest allies or our most formidable foes, depending on whether they're good or bad. Imagine habits as the silent gears in the machinery of our lives. Good habits, like a well-oiled gear, keep our lives running smoothly and efficiently. They encourage us to rise early, eat healthily, exercise regularly, read voraciously, and manage our time effectively. These habits compound over time, leading to increased productivity, improved health, and overall success. They become the stepping stones to achieving our goals and dreams. On the other side of the coin, bad habits are like rusty gears, grinding our progress to a halt. They lure us into procrastination, unhealthy eating, sedentary lifestyles, and negative thinking. These habits can make us feel stuck in a rut, leading to decreased productivity, poor health, and a sense of stagnation. They become the stumbling blocks that prevent us from reaching our full potential. The key thing to remember is that our habits don't merely affect us on an individual level. They ripple out, influencing our relationships, our communities, and even our societies. A community of individuals with good habits, for instance, can lead to a healthy, productive, and vibrant society. Conversely, a community plagued by bad habits can lead to a stagnant, unhealthy, and unproductive society. But here's the silver lining. We're not doomed to our bad habits. We have the power to change them. And that's where the real magic happens. When we consciously decide to break a bad habit, we're not just stopping a negative behavior. We're opening the door to the possibility of a new positive habit taking its place. It's not just about breaking bad habits, it's about replacing them with good ones. This is our transformation, our evolution, our path to becoming the best versions of ourselves. Changing habits is challenging, but it's possible with understanding and effort. Habits like the threads of a spider's web are woven into our daily lives. Some are golden strands, uplifting us to greater heights. Others are sticky threads, ensnaring us in unproductive routines. But here's the good news. With some understanding, effort, and a sprinkle of patience, we can change these habits. Firstly, let's unravel the structure of a habit. It's a three-part loop: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue triggers the habit. The routine is the action we automatically take, and the reward is the satisfaction we get from performing the routine. Recognizing this loop is the first step to changing a habit. For instance, if you're always checking your phone first thing in the morning, the cue might be waking up. The routine is reaching for your phone, and the reward is the dopamine hit from seeing new messages or likes. To change this habit, you could replace the routine with something healthier, like stretching or reading a book. The key is to provide a similar reward, like the satisfaction of starting the day on a positive note, or the pleasure of immersing yourself in a story. Patience and persistence are two pillars that support habit change. It's important to remember that habits weren't built in a day, and they won't be changed in a day either. The process might be slow, and there may be setbacks, but each small step takes you closer to your goal. Positive reinforcement can also be a powerful tool in this journey. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Reward yourself when you make progress. This can strengthen the new habit loop and make it stick. Whether you're aiming to read more, exercise regularly, or stop procrastinating, changing habits can have a profound impact on your life. It's not about perfection, but progress. Remember, the power to change your habits, and thereby your life, lies within you. We've covered a lot of ground today on the topic of habits. Let's take a moment to revisit the insights we've gleaned from our exploration. We began our journey with understanding the power of habits. Habits, as we've learned, are those automatic responses we've developed over time to specific triggers in our environment. They can be as simple as brushing our teeth in the morning, or as complex as the way we respond to stress or conflict. Next, we dove into the fascinating world of neuroscience to uncover the science behind habit formation. We discovered that our habits are essentially neural pathways in our brains that have been strengthened over time through repetition. This is the reason why habits can be so hard to break. They're literally wired into our brains. From there, we examined the profound impact habits have on our lives. Habits, good or bad, shape our daily routines, our productivity, and ultimately, our overall well-being. Good habits can propel us towards success and happiness, while bad habits can hinder our progress and lead to stress and dissatisfaction. In our last segment, we explored strategies for changing our habits for a better life. We learned that the key to changing a habit is to replace the routine while keeping the same cue and reward. We also discovered that understanding the habit loop, cue, routine, reward, is crucial in this process. In conclusion, Habits aren't just mindless routines we perform on autopilot. They're powerful forces that shape our lives in significant ways. The more we understand about habits, the more control we have over them. And the more control we have over our habits, the more control we have over our lives. Habits are powerful, but with understanding and effort, you have the power to shape your habits and shape your life.